Alright, so on to games. I signed up for a Cav Strike Ops game, and where is it? Where is it? So here's the little certificate for finishing that I have successfully done the Trident War Crawlage. So that, that's kind of a fun little thingy there. And, this was, I want to say it's 2 assassins, but I may get that wrong. Just me and another guy and the instructor. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. The guy I played against was a little bit bloodthirsty. Well, not bloodthirsty. We were in calves, which are big stompy robots. And so that was actually hydraulic fluid he was after. And he did mention that. So he did a lot of trash talking, and it was amusing. And, I really wanted to pop off at the end, but I didn't know him very well. That, he tried to destroy me, but he didn't. And he says, all right, I win. And it's like, well, depends on what each person's objective was. And so I'll just pretend that my objective was to delay him long enough for the operation, and it lasted 3 rounds. So I can call myself good. One of the things I saw there that was really nice was they had the hardcover Strike Ops rulebook coming out. And they had 10 proof copies. They gave away 1. I do not have it, obviously. I did not win. But that's just something to deal with. Sat down and watched my first Dungeons and Dragons encounter, and they were fighting a bunch of, I think they were zombies. And that was my first experience of watching Dungeons and Dragons, and it was about what I expected, so that's kind of cool. Played Fiasco After Dark, and that had been really hyped up by the Forumites, and it was lots of fun last year, and they can't mention what happened, and I was all excited about playing with Brian and the other Forumites. Fiasco is 4 to a table, and they had their table full, so I was like, okay, didn't know that, but I will go ahead and go to another table. I can't really describe the game other than it's kind of a free-form role-playing game where you're trying to collect enough dice to not get a bad result. The people I were playing with, 3 of us had never played before, 1 had played once, and so I don't think we really understood how the game was played. It's not played with figures. I've just got something up on the screen here. I finally kind of figured out that the game is meant to be played as absurdly as possible. And so towards the end, I finally started putting in, penguins and kangaroos from the casino next door that I just drunkenly opened the cages to. But, that was a little late in the game, and kind of wish I'd understood at the very beginning that kind of the goal is to be absurd as possible. I'm sure it could be played straight, but, kind of the fun thing there at the convention was to play it goofily. So, it probably would help too if I was a little drunk. Then I watched a game of Turbo Joust, and that was kind of what it says, kind of a steampunk jousting tournament. And that was interesting to watch. I don't know if I'd play it, but it was certainly fun to watch. And, I don't know the rules, I can't explain it, but that was kind of cool. And then I did watch a larger Cav game, and this played with, I think, 3 people on a side and multiple models. They had a big setup. It was Egyptian pyramids, I guess, space, so it could be any pyramid. And it was fun to watch. I'm playing my little introduction game, watching their game. I really wish the game would go faster. And, if I had time, I would come up with express rules. Something really quick so you could really play fast and have more of an action, fun and gun type playing. But that's not something I really have time for, and I don't play, so, it's not really going to develop a whole bunch of house rules, although I might with the Cav Kickstarter coming. They had other boards set up. They had a board game lending library, so you could just go grab a board game, sit down, and play with a bunch of friends or strangers, the case may be. And then they had a ruined cityscape. The Cav Strike Ops introduction one was on kind of like a canyon thing. They had, I can't remember the name, but they made 2 spaceships, and it was fighting back and forth, and it was internal, so you could take a shuttlecraft over to the other one and invade. That was kind of cool. They had Grapple, I think it was called, and it looked like a bigger, Coliseum arena type game, but I didn't get into that either. But had fun, and we'll see what I do next year. But that's it for the gaming. Time for loot. I got the gold package, which came with a nice little Reaper miniature bag. And in it was a lot of stuff, and I've mixed it up since then, so I don't know exactly what numbers are what. So if I screw up, I apologize. Let's start with the easy stuff. So in the loot bag, we had a nice little Darksword Miniatures card with pictures of their miniatures on the back. And I actually had 2 of those. I don't know if it was meant to be 2 or not, but that's what I got. Kind of nice. Got a videographer, or no, I guess it's photographer, doing pictures of the minis. We got a Ravage game, our tabletop gaming magazine. Got lots of stuff on the inside. I haven't read it yet. Got a Castles and Crusades, and the name escapes me, and it escaped me in the other video. But it's just a little adventure book for Castles and Crusades rules, so I don't know exactly what that is. Then let's get into some of the swag. This is the gold mini that came with the package, and it's done by Bobby Jackson. Some knight thing. Got an ogre-like shield, which I really like. And here is the ReaperCon Sophie. If it would focus, we could see it better. Maybe it's just not going to do that. And a little sci-fi Sophie with some wings. That's kind of cool. The silver swag bag miniature. A little Bob Rodolphe sculpted it. And, it kind of looks like a, a pulp fiction sci-fi character from like the 30s. Got a ray gun, that sort of thing. So that's kind of cool. Will it focus? No. Kind of. Darksword Miniatures gave out this for, I guess, 2015, but 2014 Best in Show, it says, Wood Elf Goddess. And I can't read the sculptor, Avat Patorov. I guess that's just Torv or Porv. But, so anyway, little miniature there. For going to the Artist's Banquet, I think is what it was called. Or just the banquet. This is the miniature you got, and it is resin, not metal, which only the Darksword miniature was, and Sophie were metal. The Hall of Fame banquet had this one done by Julie Guthrie, and it's a Medusa with no nipples showing, so it's YouTube safe. And I guess you paint him as either being in stone or almost stone or something like that. That's actually a cool idea. Steal it if you want. And then here is the ReaperCon Mouseling. He's a Space Marine. I was joking on the forums that I should paint him up as a Nurgle Space Marine, because as much as everyone loves my Mouselings, they are vermin, so best on some plague. Then, in the swag bag also were some bases from Secret Weapon Miniatures. Tabletop Plus was giving away little trapdoors that work with their flooring system, but you know, can make that do anything really. And Frontline Games gave off stone terrain. That's kind of a cool thing. Then these I'm going to cover up the codes because I don't know if they're unique or not, but Free Adventure from Sagas of Old. A 10% off coupon for Old Stand, What's Under Your Mini, Markshire Studios. Kind of cool. Free Adventure from Fat Dragon Games. That's kind of a cool. And then the big one that everybody was excited about was the Paizo certificate, yeah, $10 gift. So I believe that's Pathfinder. So I might pick up a book with that. For playing the Cav game, I got a white, which makes another one I have. More swag. A ReaperCon pen. My roommate really liked his pen from a couple of years ago. And that was beneficial because I lost the pens I normally work with. And of course, it's obligatory that you have to steal the hotel pen. Laser Light Models and Engraving gave out XP bonus, Feat of Strength chips. You know, kind of a wooden nickel type thing. It's still kind of cool. Let me grab this up here. Hanger 18 gave out orange cups that lots of people were using for paint cups. I did not use mine for paint cups. I brought my own. I also came out with Hanger 18 die, and really cool marbly acrylic texture. So that's kind of cool. I'll talk about this later again, and I might show it again, but if you went on the Reaper tour, you were allowed to put one hand in and grab as many bases as you can. So that was kind of really cool. Paint. I've already taken these out of the blister pack that it was in, but got Sophie Silver and Pirate Gold. I don't remember if these were for the banquet. Big Top Red. I think that was from a year ago, 2 years ago. Clockwork Brass. The Briar Rose. Bright Silver. Sky Steel. Shadow Silver. Frontier Blue. Rich Green. Aquamarine Blue. And this color. Didn't mention it before, but you know, if anyone's gone to a con, I guess it's tradition to have these ribbons on your convention badge. And the only way you could get this is if you got a certain ribbon. You had to go talk to Anne and ask her about this paint color. And I'm not going to show the paint color. If you want to know, go ask Anne. Also included in the swag bag, and I think it was for the banquets, was $25 gift certificates to the Reaper store. So I picked up a cloaker. This is in the Kickstarter, Bones 2. But I liked him. I had money to burn, so I picked up another one. And this is a pack rat, and I was looking at him up on the shelf, and I got 2 of them. And I really liked that he had 2 legs, if you can zoom in on that. Or is it too white? It's maybe there. So I was like, well, shoot, I'll get 2 of those. They're only $3 each. And after I purchased it and was talking to another Forumite, it's like, well, yeah, those were part of the Kickstarter. I'm like, no, they weren't. Yeah, it was. It was part of the Rats one. And the Kickstarter showed him from the front, so I didn't know that he had 2, so I now have 3. So 3-pack Rats, that works, I suppose. I also got a couple metal ones. I got the Tiviel Hellborn Rogue. I thought she was cool. And to go with her, I got Sinessa Hellborn Sorceress. Fun little things to paint. I don't know if I ever will. I also picked up a bunch of meerkats. I want to say I've never seen these, but maybe they're new, maybe they're not. But little meerkat familiars. So it's kind of a fun thing I'll have to paint. They're really tiny. And then I picked up a flat. And I'd seen these a couple places. Julie Guthrie sculpted this. I've done a couple flats, a bear and a lion, so now I'm going to try to do this one. I'm a little disappointed it's not on a base of some sort. The 2 flats I painted were on basically flat bases. And so, a little fun thing to try to paint up. I also went ahead and bought 2 Reaper T-pin paint pokers. You're supposed to shove it in and get your paint loose. Although I did learn a little technique that if you shake it down 3 times, or 5 times I do that, and then blow a little bubble out the top, people in one of the classes swore that you wouldn't get a clog that way. So I'm going to try that. We'll see if that works. The next thing I've got swag-wise is, and I actually spent my own money on this, is from Tabletop Plus. I bought a little bar set. The guy doing this, he was real fun. We had some trouble with PayPal, but we got it all worked out. But I really like the little bar, and it's got, it's a little modular set. It's unpainted, unassembled. And of course, to go with that, I really liked the little barrel. And this kind of shows 2, but there's just 1 barrel on a stand. Yeah, that works for me. I kind of enjoyed it. And I went ahead and bought a set of, well, it's a bench, I guess. And that's kind of a cool little thing. Later, I was just like bugging me, and I had to go back, and I got the table and chairs. His vendor booth was an entire big, huge setup of all this stuff, and flooring system, and walls, and castle things, and cool things like that. So I picked that up. Is that all my swag? Oh no, here we go. I almost forgot this again. If you went on the Reaper tour, or the factory tour, or one of the meet and greets, barbecue, and it won't show up well, but this is a figures case. And they were giving these out. Ken went over the announcement, said, at the end of the con they were going to basically take them all to the dumpster and throw them away. So everybody got one that went to the meet and greet that wanted one. Then at one of the banquets, I won an entire 19-color HD paint set. That's the ones with the yellow labels. So, that's stoked because I don't win a whole lot often. And the unfortunate part of it was that as part of the two $25 gift certificates that I had, I'd purchased 3 of the paints that were already in the set. But, Reaper being the nice people and all, I was able to trade them paint for paint and get 3 colors that I liked that I didn't have. And yeah, I don't think I was going to say I picked up 1 color that I already had because I'd bought some, but it was actually a different color. But now I'm disappointed because the color I thought I had, I didn't get. Oh well, that's just the way the world works. I have something to pad out my next order. But anyway, that just about covers all the loot. I'm looking around to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I don't think I did, so that's it for the loot.